Greetings, sisters. This is Leanne with my first video book review. I'm hoping that this will save me some time because my written reviews have been taking a long time, and hopefully a video review will be good for you too, that I can just get information to you a little bit more quickly. And so the book that I wanted to talk about today is When Dragons' Hearts Were Good by Buddy Davis. I don't have a lot of experience with Buddy Davis, but what we have had from him actually is a DVD. I can't remember the name of the DVD. I think it's Dinosaurs, Genesis, and the Bible, or something like that, where he and Ken Ham, you're just basically watching a lecture that they give to children that's pretty well done. And I like him. I love the songs that he writes. He really writes some good songs about creation and creation in the little experience that I have had with Buddy Davis's work. He's really focused on creation and teaching children through music and books about creation. What I would tell you about this book, the reason I wanted to review it is because it is recommended on Christian book lists. That's how I found it. And so I want to review particularly those books that are on Christian book lists so that you can know which ones are, you don't need, and which ones are, wow, this is excellent. Get it in your library. You'll read it over and over again. It'll be a huge blessing. And this book is not a need book. It's not one of those books that the kids are It's not one of those books that the kids will want to read again and again. That's what I need to say. I can't really put my finger on why kids don't go back to this book again and again. I think perhaps it's because the perspective on this, the perspective that's highlighted in this book, or what Buddy Davis is trying to teach, is a little bit over the heads of the kids that he is reaching out to. It's just hard for them to relate to and understand. But basically the book is just about what life was like in the Garden of Eden before the fall. It's very detailed, pretty story about how dragons were in particular. That's what it's about, how they played together, how they played with Adam and Eve. And honestly, that's why this book is not a favorite of mine. I'm not a big fan of books that try to fill in Bible gaps. In other words, if the Bible doesn't talk about what things were like in the Garden of Eden in great detail, I don't really enjoy books that try to do that, particularly for little kids, because then they wind up having an understanding of what things were like in the Garden of Eden from the time they're preschool age, which is, this book is definitely geared toward that age level. They get an image in their mind of what it was like, what dragons were like, and it's not necessarily biblical. It's not that it couldn't be. It might be possible. But in this book, Buddy Davis doesn't really frame the story in a way that suggests to you that he thinks maybe this is how it was. He never says maybe. It kind of feels like this is how it was, and this is how the dragons were, and this is how they used these things on their bodies, and we don't really know that. And so I'm very hesitant with books like this, just because I'm concerned that they're going to teach the kids things that aren't in the Bible, and they'll, think of these things as being fact when, we don't really know the details about these things. But as it turned out, this was not a favorite at all in my house. It's still sitting on my shelf, but the only time we ever read it is if I grab a stack of books off the shelf and it happens to be in a stack, but the kids never request this book. And I even went on Amazon.com and looked at some of the reviews, and it's only got 12 reviews, and most of them are good reviews. But there's one person who said the same thing, gave it 3 stars, and said, I like the book, but my kids don't. They don't ever go back to this book. And so if you've encountered this book on a book list, I just wanted to give you the heads up. You really don't need this. It won't be a favorite probably among the kids. And I think it just feels too strange. There's something strange about it. And for me as an adult, I'm kind of uncomfortable with the extra biblical story. But there is something very sweet and endearing about the hope that it gives about what things will be like when Jesus returns, because we do have that promise, and we do have things given to us in the Word about what it will be like. And even the cover of this book, the dragon with the lamb, it's just a sweet image, and it does spark that in your heart, like, woo, someday it's going to be like this again and better. And so it's not like one of those books, oh, I got it and threw it in the trash because I couldn't stand it and I didn't want anybody else to have to read it. It's still on my shelf, and we still read it from time to time. But if you're building your library for your children, this is not a must-have. So, yeah, that's it for this one. This book was published by Master Books. I meant to say that earlier. It was published in 1999. If you are interested in seeing what else they have, you can go to masterbooks.com. They specialize in homeschool materials on creation and on science. I think they also have books on apologetics too. But I have not bought anything from them. I just got this particular book from Amazon because it was on a Christian book list. So, okay, that's it for this one. And hopefully we'll be posting another one right behind it.